welcome back to Amanda's Bookish Adventures. I am going to be talking about some contemporaries that I have on a stack right here, and I have a list, and I own some that I just put up and couldn't reach, so I'm going to go through some contemporaries. I'd like to get to some of these before the end of the year. I don't know how many of them I will be able to, but these are the ones that are like priority reads that I must get to. Now that I've found you, and this one's about following in the footsteps of her uber famous grandma, 18-year-old Evie Jones is poised to be Hollywood's next big star. That is until a close friend betrays her, leads to her being blacklisted. Mila Williams, a cute musician Evie isn't sure she can trust. Can they help find the grandmother? So we'll see in this one. Time of Our Lives, and I read, if I'm being honest, by this author duo, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I know I should go back and read their first book, but this one called to me more, and I don't believe this one's a retelling of one of Shakespeare's plays. I think this is about just going on college tours, maybe meeting. So let's read what it says. Fitz Holton has made up his mind. He will attend college close to home and care for his single mom while she battles early onset Alzheimer's, spending 10 days touring out-of-state colleges is wildly unnecessary, not to mention a colossal waste of time. Juniper Ramirez is counting down, I probably messed that up because of my dyslexia, is counting down the day until she can leave her crowded home with 5 young siblings and 0 policy. Against the wishes of her tight-knit family, Juniper plans her own college tour with one goal in mind: get out. All right, now we have my most anticipated release of the year. It got pushed back because of COVID, and it is a finale. This is the last one in this romance companion series. I have been excited. I have waited for Kwan's book to come out since the first book, but I've heard some press like he's not like how he was in The Kiss Quotient and in the Bride Test, so I'm kind of nervous, but I'm still excited to read it. But I do know it's about Anna's son and his story, and I believe it was just like a hookup, one-night stand that fails, and then they keep getting drawn to each other. I don't want to know more than this because I want to go into this not having anyone else's opinions but my own, and this is on my TBR for this month, and I'm gonna have to fit it in here one day. Maybe do a mini vlog like I did for the X-Hex, but I do know once I pick this up, I'm not gonna be able to put it back down. Now my delightful twin sister got this for me. I don't know where she picked it up. I've never even heard of this book. The Lost Library of Things. I haven't even heard of the printing company, but it's how can I open the door and let him see the messiest part of me. Darcy Wells has spent her whole life keeping people out of her life, out of her heart, and especially out of the cramped apartment she shares with her hoarder mother. And there's more details, but I don't want to get much into it. I do want it to be a bit surprised, but it looks really good in the cover alone, and I haven't even heard of this, so I'm excited to see what it's about. Now, I do have By Your Side by Casey West, and I got this brand new for $3 at a library sale. I went with my twin, and it's in really good condition. I'm wondering if the person who owned it before me just bought it and just let it sit on their shelf and unhauled it, which that might be what I do too, because it's been on my shelf for 2 years and I have not picked it up. But this is what it says. When Autumn Collins finds herself accidentally locked in the library for an entire weekend, she doesn't think things could get any worse, but that was before she realizes that Dax Miller is locked in with her. So a weekend locked in a library. That would be fun. Well, as long as he had access to water and food, but I think it's her school library, so they probably do have access to the vending machine and water, but I can't. It's such a cute premise, and I want to read it before I unhaul it in case I really absolutely enjoy it. It's just sat there on my shelf for so long that I haven't picked it up, but it's a cute cover, and I do want to read it. Now this one is One Last Stop, and this has been very popular. It's recently came out. It's my first read from this author, so I don't know much about it. I do know it's about a girl named August, and moving to New York is supposed to prove her right. Things like magic, cinematic love stories don't exist, and the only smart way to go through life is alone. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner, moving in with too many roommates, could possibly change that. But there is a girl on the train named Jane, and I believe this is a time-traveling romance aspect, so I kind of want to see where this goes. It's kind of very popular, so I guess we'll give it a shot. Now, the next one I got because of the Netflix original, Sex-Life, 44 Chapters About Men. I binged that Netflix original. I was up till 4 in the morning watching that, and it was really good. I love the story, and I do know this is a memoir, so I know not everything in the Netflix, because they had liberties and different stories they could have went with this, but I do know that I watched a YouTube interview with the author BB Easton, and she was talking about some scenes in the show, how that did happen. So I wanted to read it, especially after that. I know it's not gonna, only a couple scenes from the Netflix original show is true, and then they changed the story to make it really good, and it was. But I want to know more about her real life story and her struggles in romance until she found her one. So I am looking forward to this one. Now I do have a list about ones. There's some I own that's behind a big stack of books, and others I will be getting from my local library. So we have The Accidental Beauty Queen. One of the reasons why I bought that book was because of the twin aspect. Being a twin myself, I kind of wanted to see how they did. I know it's about them switching places, and then the one who's not that girly, not into makeup, tries to help her sister win this competition that she's wanted to since she was a child. But I believe the love interest is the judge. Now, The Good Luck Charm I do own, and it is a reread, but I don't remember anything about it. I do know it's a second chance romance, and I believe it also talks about her grandparents, so it'll be interesting to go over that and read it and get a good refresher and kind of see, because I know I enjoyed it. I gave it a 5-star. It'd be interesting to see what I would give it now. Okay, so I got that one. So Some Girls Do, I do know it's by the author who did Hot Dog Girl. I don't know much. It would be my first book that I'm really interested in hers because the cover is so pretty. I don't know much detail about that. I will probably be checking that out from my local library. Let's see if I can just do this without the phone stand tipping, because it no longer wants to hold the weight of my cell phone. Now, Dial A for Aunties is a debut novel, and I believe it's also, I think the rest of the ones, or at least one more on this list, is a second chance romance as well. I believe it's a second chance romance. I believe the aunties, they all work in a wedding company, and each part contributes to wedding services, so I don't know much about that. I know it's really popular on, I'm going to say BookTube. That's how I found out about it. Sorry, talking so long, but it sounds so funny and it sounds so good, so it will be one I will be checking out at my local library. And then First Come Like, I don't even know the premise on the top of my head, but I really liked the cover, so I will be checking that one out as well. These are just some contemporaries I want to read that I have my eye on. Some I physically own, some I'll be checking out from my local library. I'm probably not going to be able to read all of them. I do know that before the end of the year. We'll just kind of see how it goes. But these are the ones on the top of my list that have been really good and interesting. What are some contemporary romances you guys are on the top of your list to read next? Comment down below and talk to me about contemporary romance. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!